Welcome to Pre-Cal Trig Spring 2023. We're going to go over the orientation. We're going to start with our classroom expectations and norms. As you're going through this, if you notice anything that you have questions about, jot it down. If you have any suggestions, jot those down as well. You'll have a chance later when you fill out a form to add any suggestions so that I can adjust the norms or things that you would like to see in class. One of the things that I want to reiterate is that your mic will mute itself unless you're speaking. That will help with classroom disruptions or conversations getting too loud. In the past, if you remember, sometimes the mic would turn on and we'd hear background noise, and it kind of took away some of our class time. I know this is different for us, so just remember that your mic will turn off, and I would like to hear you speaking. You don't have to raise your hand to speak, just click on your mic. Especially when I'm at the board, I need those of you who are comfortable monitoring the chat and calling out the questions that you see, because I won't be able to read the chat while I'm working at the board. And I'll do the same for you as well. Also, this semester, practice turning your camera on. Turning your camera on can earn you more chances in our class drawings. We have reward drawings at the end of every unit. You'll have your name in at least once, but for positive types of behavior, such as turning your camera on, dressing school appropriate, whether you're on camera or not, coming to class, asking questions, communicating with your teacher about getting help, and being respectful and focused when you're in class gets you more chances into the reward drawing at the end of the semester. Always keep everything classroom appropriate and focused on the topic that we're covering in class. I really want you to be fully engaged. I don't want you to not feel like that you're supported. Again, come to class ready to learn. Stay on task. Whenever you open another tab and you're somewhere else, or you even walk away from the computer, it shows. Now, I like for you to come to class with your vocabulary open. So if you're going back and forth between class activities, neuro, or you're going to a calculator or vocabulary, I understand that, but I would like for you to stay on task, not just log in. So when you're in class, I want you to be chatting about the topic for that course, asking questions, clarifying, be fully engaged. We'll have several activities. I want you to prepare before you come to class, keep up with the material so you do have questions and we can help each other answer those questions. A lot of the class will be focusing on practicing what you should have covered or what you will be covering soon. So answer any polling questions, even if you don't know the answer, just do the best you can. That gives me information about where to go the following week. Participate in discussions, use the whiteboard tools when asked, and ask and answer questions. So come to class on time at 9 o'clock, either on Tuesday or Wednesday. Be prompt, be prepared, be positive, be productive, and be polite. We haven't had any trouble with that. You've been very good at supporting one another in our class. We respect each other. We try our best. We are a team. We all make mistakes and we learn from our mistakes. So don't be afraid to make mistakes or to have trouble when we're learning something new. So that positive respect for one another, helping one another, encouraging one another helps us to create and to grow. And we celebrate each other's successes. Now, I want to talk about the I can. I talked about it every week last semester, and I had people at the end scrambling and asking, where is this? So if you're not finding the I can, make sure that you spend this week and next week really getting into the course content and resources and making sure that you know where that link is. So again, where is the I can? Under course materials and class announcements. Could be on our class homepage in announcements or under the course materials under resources. So what is in the I can? There are video recordings. There are a lot of help videos. There are important dates. The slideshow with the notes are going to be placed each week in the I can. So if for any reason you can't come to class, you can't participate, you still have access to everything that we've done. Also keep in mind, if you're a flex student, you may not have access to the live class video. And even if you do have access to the live class video, when we go into breakout rooms or we're working on a YouTube video or we're in Nearpod, it's going to be a lot of blank space. So I try to re-record everything that's in that class PowerPoint and go over the things that are important. There's also going to be solutions to problems. A lot of times the answers were there. You don't have to Google answers if you're asking questions. And I know that this is new, so it's going to be a little more difficult than things you've already practiced in the past. So if you're looking for solutions, go to the I can first. Okay, there will also be helpful websites because I want to help direct you to what is going to be better for you to go to than some of those student answer sharing websites that often contain misinformation. Now, they can help you get started, but sometimes they can get you off track. So use the I can first, ask questions, and I will try to keep adding to this weekly. It's often been asked why you can't just ask the teacher. Well, I do have office hours and I'm adding an extra day this week. So I'll have those on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. You can drop in and ask me a question if that's most efficient. And that's the way that I would prefer you to ask a question, especially if it's about a test or a quiz. Our setting is different than brick and mortar, and I'm not always available. But that doesn't have to be a reason you can't be successful. What does the I can stand for? Instructional, calendar, assignments, notes. I can do this myself. Now, if you're waiting until the end, and I know that math can be scary for some people or tedious, but don't wait till the last minute and then say, what can I do to bring my grade up? You know that the tests count the most, the part twos especially, but you'll be surprised at the corrections that you can make. Maybe you turned in an assignment that was blank. So read my feedback and I will try to help you get the grade that you deserve. Maybe you couldn't open the file. That happens. And I can correct that for you or send it to you directly. Maybe your test had parts that are missing. Maybe it's the way that I asked the question. So if you ask questions, I can clarify. And then we have the I can where we can put answers. We also have the announcements that you should get into. So get into the course, read or listen to the teacher feedback, make adjustments, and resubmit. Always let me know if you need help. Don't just stay, stuck, because that will keep you frustrated and we won't do as well as we know that we can do. So read my feedback. I do have a new office number, 972-420-1404 that you find on our class page. And I have my old office number. Now, some people have reported that they can't hear me well on the new number. The extension is 3307. So if you have any trouble at all, you can always text or call the old office number. You can always email me as well. Do not use email as chat, okay? Because we don't want to spend all day just trying to answer one email. So dropping in, I'm available every day, is probably the quickest way for you to get your questions answered. Now we are using Neuro. Remember that we do not use it as a social network. Okay, so do not share personal information, contact, or social media information. Be patient. Again, the entire recording will be available in the iCan after class. Always go there to find the class recording for full content, especially if you're a flex student and are, out there kind of doing things on your own. The recording is available for you as well. So contribute in a positive way when we're in class. Ask questions, support one another. We all learn differently, so don't criticize each other based on what we know or what we don't know or the questions being asked, because questions are very important. Your input is important, and I value it. That's how I improve what I do as a teacher. So if you're not asking questions, you're not getting the most out of this course. The best way to contact me, I'm going to keep putting this up there in front of you. You can call and leave a message at 972-420-1404, extension 3307, or you can text 903-689-2696. For lengthy questions and responses, you can email me if your details. I need to know what the assignment name is. I need to know what the question is. I need to have a screenshot or a snippet. But again, avoid using email when you can come in. Now, I know that office hours and help sessions are not always convenient for everyone. You can also request a one-to-one. If you give me some times that you are available, then I can consider scheduling a one-to-one for you, because that is probably the most efficient way to get your questions answered. So extended help, we have office hours. Sign up for you don't have to sign up for office hours, but I would like for you to sign up for help sessions. But don't feel like you can't just drop in to listen to what's going on. I'm going to give priority to those people who have signed up and told me what they need help with, because that helps us to use our time most efficiently. All right, let's get into the course, and let me show you what you should be doing this week. All right, the first thing is, and I want to keep saying this until it sinks in, plan 30 to 60 minutes every day. Sometimes it may be longer, depending on if we have something due that day. But just for practice, get into the course. You'll find your content up here. Click Content to find your lessons. Click on Progress to show the amount of completion, not your class grade. Okay, so this kind of gives you an idea, but don't get stuck here on progress. Ask questions if you don't know what this means. Click on Grades to see how you're doing. And here's my contact information, my new office number. All right, what I want you to do is click on the content and go into, let me just demonstrate how that works. Go into course materials. Now I'm going to change this and look at it from a student point of view, because I don't always see your what you see, and if you're not asking questions, I may misunderstand. So I'm going to go in as a student. So open this up and read the announcements. This is going over what we're going over during the orientation. Nothing much has changed really from last semester, but make sure that you understand this. Make sure that you have Microsoft Office downloaded. Here are the instructions on how to get your free copy and how to download it. So if you're not using a school computer, you might need to download this on the device that you're using. Join our Desmos class. Not everybody did that last semester, and it will slow you down. If you want to get into the lessons that are assigned to you this semester, join our class by clicking on this link or putting in this code when you go to student.desmos.com. Also join our Quizlet class. This is where our vocabulary lives. Now, just because we have a study set and we start with vocabulary, don't let it overwhelm you. Okay, it may contain all the vocabulary for that unit, but keep it handy so that you have it open, you have reviewed it, and you're ready to use that vocabulary during class. Every Monday, you should be reviewing your vocabulary. All right, so start with Quizlet. And we have a study set for Unit 1 for this semester called Discrete Math. That's what we'll be starting with. And make sure that you check your course time zone and get that corrected on your device. Now, on Monday morning, it's not up here yet, but you'll have an agenda that shows up that breaks this apart day by day into what we're going to be doing for that week. So if there are any mistakes in the plan or in the calendar, because it's easy for me to make mistakes with dates and times, always refer back to this. And also, if something happens, I can update it quickly here in the announcements. So the announcements could change daily. So just go through these daily. Make sure that you don't notice any changes. If there are any changes, you'll see an orange dot up here. So when I'm speaking about announcements, I'm not speaking about TOPS announcements. I'm speaking about our course announcements, which you have to get into the course to see. Also, the content. Be perusing that this week. Here's your middle of the year assessment. Now, I know that you were told that you don't have to take this if I had you last semester. I would like for everybody to take it. And do not try to make 100 on it, because if you are trying to make 100, you're trying way too hard. This is a grade of a 100 by when you complete it, but you are not expected to know all of the questions because we haven't covered all of the material yet. Now, if you're new to TOPS or you're new to me this semester, you must take this. But everybody take it because it gives you a free 100. It's not based on the grade that you make when you take it. It's based on whether you complete it. So don't spend too much time or stress about this. Just get it done, okay? My contact information is here. You can open that up and you can see it. It's another additional web page. I try to put it out there so there's no mistake about how to get in touch with me. Also, if you want to opt in so that I can text you directly, it's important that you fill out that form. If you have any questions about your grade, you're strongly encouraged to visit me during office hours because that's a personal question. And there aren't a lot of people that come during office hours, and I can kind of talk to you individually. You can also request a one-to-one. Outside of any of those times I've published, I'm available, and I'll accommodate you based on my availability. Okay? Don't use email the same way that you use texting. Drop into office hours for questions about the course content or grades. If you're mistaken in the way that email should be used and you're trying to go back and forth to get questions answered, that takes up too much time. I can look at your email, but I might direct you to the ICANN or somewhere else. So work with me to make sure that you're comfortable understanding teachers' hours, how they work, and that we are working together as a team. All right, email me is usually the fastest way to get in contact. I'll try to respond quickly. So if you got a short question, email me. But if, again, I want to try to encourage you to come in during one-to-one or office hours and request a special one-to-one if those times don't work for you. So there's a link here that you can click on opting into texting. That's another way to communicate. So there are all kinds of ways to get in touch with me or for us to keep that communication open. Here's a link to the ICANN. Please make sure you know how to get to the ICANN. Nothing has changed, but you can see in the ICANN, we have the dates, okay? And I put up what was there from last year, and I'm going to update this as we go. So this is last year's information. A lot more stuff than you need here, and maybe some links that don't work. So don't get too far ahead of the game. I just want you to know where it is and how it works. And I'm also going to include calculators here at the top, extra resources, because you don't have to show every step necessarily the way that you did in algebra. So I'll keep this updated. This is from last year, so don't get too worried about what's there. I am going to be updating the orientation recording. I'll put the recordings here. Okay, so make sure that you get comfortable with the ICANN and how it works. All right, here's the help, the one-to-one and the help lab sign up. So this is how it will work. You click here, and I'm going to update this. It's not working right now because this doesn't start probably until the second week, but there'll be a sign up here. You'll just find a slot. You'll put your name in, and you'll tell me what it is that you want to be working on so that I can be ready for you. But you can just jump into Help Lab, but I'm not going to give you the attention first. It's going to be the people that have signed up. Now that's going to be a Zoom meeting, so it's not available right now. This is how the one-to-one works. All right, what about office hours? Let me see if I have that here. Here's the link, one-to-one office hours right here. It's going to be open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 10 to 10:45. So I need to make that correction here. You can click on this link or this link, and if I am available, my office will be open from 10 to 10:45. Also an active link down here. You just jump in, come on in and ask your questions. All right, here's the content. So this week, you should be, let me look and see what's here. You should be completing your Moya for that free 100. Here it is right here. Okay, you sign in to Progress Learning by going to the class link. So let me demonstrate how that works. All right, we're logged into our class. Go back to our home page, and you'll find a link right here. You'll go down to Progress Learning. If you do it this way, you don't need to have your login information. All right, I think that's it. You can go ahead and start with discrete math. It starts on January 8th, so we can't start it until that Sunday at midnight. Okay, so that's not opened up yet. I want you to spend today and tomorrow just getting that Moya done, getting into the course, looking around, making sure that you know where everything is. Okay. I know there's a lot to do at the beginning. I don't want you to get overwhelmed. Read all of these announcements, connect to all of these resources, email me and ask me any questions that you may have. Keep up with everything and ask questions. So again, make sure you get into the content and you read the announcements. And I would like for you to be doing that daily. What's the most efficient way to study for this course? Work through the course material. Do any practice. There's practice in the online textbook, and come to class prepared with any questions that you have. Get a spiral notebook or some kind of a notebook, and as you go through the practice, take notes, write down questions. After the class period, go ahead and attempt the quiz. Don't let the feeling that you're not going to make a perfect 100 or that you're not ready keep you from taking that first attempt. Remember, you have more than one attempt. Now, if you take the first attempt, maybe there's things that you know that you don't really have to go back and prepare for, but will tell you what you do need to go back and study a little bit more. That's when you come to Help Lab. That's when you come to office hours, ask questions, get it done. But don't get behind, okay? Keeping up with the course content is the best way to pass this course and take that stress away. We have a mid-semester lock date and we have an end of the semester lock date. If you don't do as well as you'd like, then look in the ICANN at the quiz help video for that section. I do my best to create a help video for every quiz and every test. Maybe not every quiz, but certainly every test. So check out the other videos and websites that I have listed there. And it keeps you efficient as far as time. You don't waste time going out and Googling things. Now, I know that you've grown up Googling things, but I'm trying to keep and respect your time because I know your time is important as well as anyone else's. So once you've taken that first attempt, ready or not, then you can prepare to take your second attempt. So once you've done whatever you need to do to prepare, you can attempt the quiz a second time. If you still aren't satisfied with the grade, come to office hours or Help Lab. Only use email under extenuating circumstances, meaning if you can't come to office hours. I often have office hours and then immediately after that, I have students emailing me questions. Explain to me that you have a need to come at a different time. Let me know what's convenient for you, and you can schedule a one-to-one. Okay, you can also email me if that's your only option, but you have to be very specific, including the name of the assignment, the exact question you missed, explain what you were thinking, include pics or snips using your snipping tool. I can try walking you through the question or create a video, but it's very cumbersome in math. It's hard to type in all the subscripts, superscripts, special math characters needed to give you a good explanation. And I don't want to end up taking up more of your time than needed. So once you get help, you can attempt the quiz a third time. So how do you show your work on the teacher-graded assignments, tests, and corrections? Do not type your answers. Again, it is very hard for me to interpret what it is I'm seeing because often we don't have the characters or you don't know how to find the characters when you're typing. I prefer that you print it out, write your work directly on the printed test, scan your work in using Genius Scan, name your file with the correct assignment name and your name, then submit the PDF. I would like it as a PDF, not a picture, especially not if you have an iPhone, because I can't always open those. If I can't see it, I can't grade it. But a PDF I can see, and it comes in with the correct orientation so I can write directly on it. You don't have to print out the test. You can do this on your own notebook paper. Okay, so again, I want that to sink in that it is very hard for me to grade typed answers. This is what I want to see. Now, I prefer just pencil if you box in your answers, but I need to see your work. I often hear, I don't have a printer or my printer's messed up. You don't have to have a printer for math. That's not a problem. Open up the assignment, do your work on notebook paper, and submit pictures of your work. By pictures, I don't mean a picture from your phone. I mean use a scanner app so I get a PDF submitted. Okay, but I will take pictures. I'll do whatever I can to grade it. It's just going to be more time consuming if you're taking snapshots. It's your job to submit your assignment with the assignment name on it and your name in the correct format for your teacher to grade. Now, color coding does make it easier to grade, but avoid using red. Red, save that for the teacher grading marks. Keep in mind, now you don't have to use color. Some of you have, and it makes it so easy for me to see what it is that you're trying to present. Keep in mind, if I can't read it, then I can't grade it. So you want to do your best to follow instructions so that you get the grade that you deserve. For example, if I ask you to find the exact value of the following, in each case, show your work and explain the steps. If you just give me the correct answer, you're not going to get full credit, because on teacher graded assignments, I'm grading your work. You could get the wrong answer and still pass if you show your work. But if you give me the correct answer with no work shown, you're not going to be able to pass. Now here's an example of this first question from a student answer sharing site. In sine 17 pi over 6, calculate the value of 17 pi over 6. And they type all of this stuff out, but the answer is incorrect. For one thing, whenever you give me a decimal answer, you're not answering the question because I asked for an exact value. That means don't put in 3.14 for pi or 3.142 or even use a calculator. Calculators are fine, but not when it's asking for an exact answer. And we really need to slow down and read the question, because if it's counted wrong the first time, you may know very well what you're doing. You just didn't answer it the way the question asked you to. We ran into this last semester when we were asked to simplify something like 36 over 10. And if you remember, when we're simplifying, I know that you were taught this a lot during middle school, but now we're in high school. So we have to think about how we're answering this. Okay, 36 and 10 can be divided by 2. For some reason, I'm not getting my pen to write. So all right, my pen's not writing. 36 can be divided by 2, and that will give us 18. And 10 can be divided by 2, and that gives us 5. So in simplifying this, we would get 18 over 5. But if you change it to a mixed number, the computer will count it incorrect. Now, the teacher, when I'm grading it, I can give you more points, but the computer is not going to give you credit if you change an improper fraction to a mixed number at this level, unless it's a word problem and there's a need for you to convert it. So remember, on teacher graded assignments, I'm going to be grading your work. If you show only answers, you will not get full credit. Here's an example of the same problem with the work shown that gets you full credit. See how that's different than the last one? There's no decimal answer. We're using square roots. We're using our notes to get reference angles. And if this is new to you, don't worry. We haven't gotten to this, but we will. And it won't look as intimidating as it does now. Again, another example. If you have a draw feature and you have accommodations where you can draw on the computer, you could possibly draw it like this. But remember, when I'm at the board writing with my mouse, it gets messy, and sometimes it's harder to read. So that's not the best option. I'd rather you do it with pencil and paper, because that makes a brain connection. Remember, do not type it out directly into the Word document or anywhere else, because this is going to be very difficult for me to grade. Okay, not suggested, especially because you get tired of typing in steps, and I get tired of trying to interpret what it is that you're trying to say. So I'd rather you write it on paper with pencil. Much easier for me to grade. All right, now I know that you Google a lot, but let's try to train ourselves not to Google every single answer. We do use Desmos Calculator a lot, or other calculator websites, which I have listed in the I Can right at the very top, things that are acceptable. So don't feel like you can't use a calculator to check your answers. But if you use a calculator to do your work and then take a screenshot of this and turn it in to a teacher graded assignment, then I'm not going to be able to give you credit for that for most cases. So don't submit a test with graphs generated from Desmos. Use Desmos to help you check your answers, to help check to make sure you're correct, or to give you a place to start. Okay? And we need to remember the student code of conduct. So I'm trying to retrain what's been acceptable for some of you in the past, and we don't get ourselves into trouble. So where do we submit the assignments once we've scanned them in using Genius Scan or CamScan? We go to Tools, we go to our assignments, and then there's a place to add a file. You can also record audio or you can record video. But do not email me your work. Email me if you're having trouble. Come in during a help session, show me your work, or schedule a one-to-one, whatever time's convenient for you, and just go through it with me. It's much quicker and more efficient to get that grade done and in the grade book. So how do you see your answers once a quiz is done? You click on the Progress tab, go to Quizzes. So after you've received a grade for any Part 2 or any other submission, you need to read the feedback. Make sure you're going in and reading the feedback. If you don't understand it, make a quick visit during office hours or come to Help Lab. Grades can be updated again, I'm going to say it again, in real time if you're seeing me in person, and you don't have to wait and worry. So take advantage of the fact that I'm available every day. Again, I'm going to repeat this because I want to make sure that you know how to find it and you're using the I Can. How do you find it? Go to Into the Course, Content, Resources, and then you'll find a link to the I Can. Again, we have it listed by week, and we're going to update it weekly with resources, notes, videos, recordings. You should have everything here needed to support you to be successful. And announcements. Why do I ask you to get in the course every day? Because if something happens, especially technology-wise, it can affect all of us in several different ways. So if my power goes out or my internet is down, for example, I'm going to do my best to get to a place where I can update the announcements and let you know that. And then you can go to the I Can to find videos, resources that can help you if I'm not available in person. Or if something happens weather-wise or otherwise, so that our schedule for the week changes, I'll put that in our daily announcements. Also, we have competitions, maybe class has been canceled, maybe you have a birthday celebration, the winner of a prize or a drawing, celebrations, what we can do to keep our grades up, a lot of things in the announcements. And it's very important that you take some time and go through what's there already, ask questions, and join all of our resources that we have for this class, such as Quizlet, Desmos, Nearpod, those types of things. You want to boost your grade? The best way is to start with the teacher-graded assignments. They count the most, they weigh the heaviest. So read your feedback. You'd be surprised at the corrections you could make. Maybe your assignment was blank. Maybe I couldn't open the file. Maybe it's something super easy for you to fix. It just takes reading my notes, making adjustments, and resubmitting. And if my feedback is not clear, drop in, ask questions. Let me clarify that. Let me know if you need help. It's very easy to redo those teacher-graded assignments and get 100. Okay, just listen to the feedback. What about test corrections? Test corrections are allowed. You have 2 attempts on tests. Now, if you fail both attempts, that qualifies you for test corrections, but you have to complete the test, at least the first attempt, by the due date, and then work on coming in, getting help, and taking the second attempt. After the second attempt, you can make test corrections. You have to put the problem number, the original answer, the new answer, and the new work. You need to show me your work. Now, Part 2 tests can give you back 100%. Test corrections can only give you back 50% credit if you show all your work up to a 70. So you don't have to do test corrections to turn in. It's always good to correct your mistakes. That's how we learn. But for credits, if you fail both attempts on each of the unit tests or one of the unit tests, you can only bring your grade up to a 70, not higher than a 70. All right, so what about the snipping tool? The snipping tool is available when you have a mouse and a keyboard. Hit the Windows logo, Shift, and S for snip. The desktop will darken, and it lets you select an area which takes a screenshot and places it on a clipboard that you can paste somewhere else. The rectangular mode is selected by default, but you can change how you select. The screenshot is on your clipboard, and a notification appears once you finish taking that screenshot. Some of you use a Mac, and that's not the platform that we work in, so I'm not as familiar with a Mac. But if you are using a Mac, you'll have to find out how to use its snipping tool. It does have a snipping tool, and the way that I understand it is when you type in Command-Shift-4 or Command-Shift-5, it saves a snippet to your desktop in picture form, so you can open it and send it by using the arrow at the top. Here's a link to a website, https://safe.re/NIPROMAC. And that will give you everything that you need to know about snipping with a Mac. I'm not the expert on this, but I know that there is a way to snip. Genius Scan. Genius Scan is the way that I'm asking you to turn in your work. I'm asking you to complete your work with pencil and paper, and then download and install this app on your phone, whether you have an iPhone or whether you have an Android, Google, doesn't matter. This is an app that's available for everyone. There are other smartphone apps like CamScan. There's no reason not to have this on your smartphone or on your tablet. And it also lets you turn in several pages as one file, which makes it easier to grade. With pictures, students often forget to name their file, but with Genius Scan, you'll get in the habit of naming it, and it's turned in as a PDF, easy for me to grade. Remember, again, after each unit, based on attendance, based on participation, based on coming to office hours or help lab, based on being positive in class, I look for every opportunity to put your name into the drawing, but it needs to be positive, expected classroom norms. And we draw for at least one $25 gift card for each class. That's for each class. Are classes required? Yes, classes are required. However, whether you attend live class or watch the recording is optional. Attending live class is preferred. I want you to be in live class. That's where you get the most. Attending classes is part of your attendance credits. I see if you attend live class, but I don't know if you just watch the recording. You have to communicate that to me. Logging into the course and participating in class assignments is the other part of your attendance credit. So you want to make sure. I know that some of you come in and you just log in. You have to be there for at least 30 minutes, and I'm expecting you to be there on time. I know things happen, but those of you that are consistent with trying to come to class, you're getting very successful at being there and comfortable with communicating with me when something happens. But both live class and the recordings are in your CC schedule. Again, the full recording will be in the iCan. If you need to watch a recording, understand you'll have to wait until I post it. Click on the date that you missed a class, click on the class, and the recording should be available within an hour of finishing live class. Keep in mind, though, I don't have any control over Neuro, so if there's a problem with the recording, it may not be there, and that's maybe totally something I have no control over. Again, that's why I post the full recording in the iCan. What about office hours or one-to-one help sessions? Office hours are not required, but I will be there 3 times a week at 10 a.m. These are simply tutorial times when I'm available to help you when you get stuck on something. You can just pop in. It doesn't have to be planned ahead. Please have that specific thing pulled up and open and ready to be worked on, the thing that you need help with. Okay, help sessions you should sign up for and let me know what to prepare for so that we use our time efficiently. So please attend any sessions you signed up for so you don't take up a seat for someone else. The link is there even if you did not sign up. So let's say that last minute you realize I really need to sign up, but you may think it's too late. So I'm going to give priority to the people who sign up 24 hours in advance because I'm ready for them. So if we're done with those people that have signed up and you've just dropped in, then we have time for me to possibly answer your questions. All right, the next steps. If you encounter a topic that you're not familiar with because you've missed something in Pre-Cal Trig, don't panic. That is human nature for us to panic, thinking, I'm not ready for this, especially if you're like me and you want to be perfect or you tend to be a perfectionist. Don't let that work against you. All right, breathe through it. The best solution is to communicate to me so that I'm aware and I can adjust what I'm teaching. So again, communicate, ask questions. That helps us to be more efficient and relaxed, but we don't want that panic to get in the way. Review the course material. That means get into the course daily, 30 to 60 minutes. I hope I've already said that. And practice what's there. Take notes. You can use your notes on your test or any assignments. Don't get stressed out trying to prepare for perfection. I'm talking to myself as well for your test. You'll have at least 2 attempts and you'll have up to 2 weeks after the due date of your test to make corrections, but only up to 2 weeks. So I'm saying this because we do have a mid-semester lock date. And if you're keeping up with the course content and not avoiding it because you don't think you're going to make 100 on it, again, we don't want to let that panic of trying to be perfect get in the way. That will help you get the grade that you want because we have more than 1 attempt on each test or quiz. Now, I advise you to complete the online course materials for the lessons we'll be covering in each class on Tuesday and Wednesday. In other words, keep up with our class schedule, whether or not you feel like you're ready. Now, I'll continually connect you to study sets and Quizlet to have the vocabulary, formulas, and information preloaded and adjusted for this course. Every week, you should read the course announcements to make sure you know what's coming and put that in your schedule so you'll know what you should have completed to help keep you on track. Complete the lessons, learn, practice, and review before your next pre-cal class. It's just a little reading about the class and nothing to turn in. Now, we'll go over a bit of the material in class, so get ready and take notes, but mostly I'll be preparing you for any quiz or test coming up. Stay on track as best you can. Get help when you get stuck. Don't give up. Don't freeze. Don't try to be perfect. You have to try. You have to be brave enough to try. Brave enough to make mistakes because mistakes are part of learning. But do not get too far behind. Try your best to not get behind. It takes so much more work to catch up than it does to stay caught up. Think of yourself as being part of this team. There'll be times that I will need to ask you for help and I'll need to listen to your feedback. So please don't be hesitant to ask me any questions. Class goes by very fast. So if you don't get your questions answered during class, then ask them during any of those other times that I'm available, or send me an email and I'll try to answer sometimes and I can. All right, again, my contact information. Again, mistakes are proof that you're trying. Even if you don't know anything, because I've been there. I go to a meeting and I'm like, I have no idea. I've been focused on something else all day long. And then we go to a meeting and I don't feel like I'm prepared and it's embarrassing. But I've learned to be honest and say, I need somebody else to ask questions. I need time, to get, focused on what we're talking about today. Scan that link, complete the survey, get into the course content, look at where the office hour link is and the one-to-one help sessions are, review the course materials, and come to class at 9 a.m. on Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, I think I've got everybody scheduled that first week, so if you are a Flex student, I have not had time to update that. Please reach out to me and let me know whether you want to be included as optional or you want to be taken out completely. That'll help speed things up and take some of that frustration away as well. But good luck, have fun. Don't forget about the I Can. This says fall 2021. We are in 2023. Can you believe that? It's going by so fast. Okay, but everything requires math. So let's have fun. Don't take everything so seriously. I'm here to help you make it a good semester. I'm going to do my best to respond to all emails within 24 hours, unless I'm out or sick. So let's don't use email as text because I won't be able to keep up. And there are some times when the amount of emails that I receive don't allow me to respond in a timely manner, but know that I'm trying every day. Okay, so just drop in if you have a quick question. Now, sometimes the email system can route your email to the wrong place. Remember, we also have the I Can. Remember my contact information. You can text or call and leave a message. Okay, and get into the course content or scan this and complete the survey. All right, I'll see you in class.